Make it.
Stopped it and started it.
Okay, we're good to go.
We're all geared up here.
You got a new shirt on, and so do I.
Oh, you do have a new shirt on. Our Frenchies finds.
From Frenchies in Coldbrook in the Valley.
Valley Frenchies really, I think, rivals the rest.
Pretty
for any
good.
of you thrift shoppers out there.
If you're looking for anything to do with Boston sports teams, that's about 90% of the men's wear.
Is that right?
Just Boston Celtics t-shirts, Red Sox stuff, Boston Bruins.
Do you think people gave up on Boston and they've
Well, I
since
just think
donated all of their gear?
one guy died, and
He was a huge
Boston fan, and his wife or children donated it all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just so much Boston gear.
Jeez, but you settled for a NASA t-shirt.
Yeah, I've been to space twice, and I liked it, so I might
you
as
didn't
well,
get a souvenir while you were
might
there.
as well
on your
support the program.
own. And you don't have a lot of red.
Don't have any red shirts.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to get some new, fresh things that are like $4 a piece.
Yeah.
And we also were at the Lawrencetown Exhibition, another summer tradition of ours.
Yeah. Why don't you explain what that is to people who might not know?
Well, if you live in Nova Scotia, I'm sure you have either heard of the exhibition. It's like a county fair or been to one. They have them in definitely Bridgewater, Truro, Windsor. But Lawrencetown is my more or less hometown. I live just north of
Stomping
there.
grounds, yeah.
But it's heavy on agriculture in Lawrencetown because we're in farming community in the Annapolis Valley. So you and I go to watch the sheep rodeo, which is children racing sheep, that's explanatory, right? What are the hall things? The horse pulls?
The pulls,
horse
horse
pulls we
pulls.
love. You get
They're
very
awesome.
into those. They're
Well-
very exciting.
Well, when they put on a weight and you're not sure if the horse is going to get it or not, or if it misses it on the first try, and they're just, everyone's cheering and going nuts. Like, it's hard not to get into
It's
that.
a big deal. They're beautiful animals too. Like, people travel from all around to compete.
When you see the horses, the biggest horses pulling like the heaviest weights, they're like a creature unlike anything else I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. They are like mythical creatures,
They're
aren't they?
huge.
I know.
Like,
And
I've
they're so
seen-
pretty.
Seen horses my whole life at the racetrack in Inverness, and a good segue. We'll get into Taylor because she was very involved with horses, and her family is. But those racehorses are completely different, like a completely different species than the Clydesdales. And the big Clydesdales are just like dinosaurs.
I know. They're really spectacular, which is part of the draw of the exhibition. All the food and rides are there that would be found at any exhibition.
Cheeseburgers. What do we have? Cheeseburgers, tacos,
Yeah.
fries.
Any treats? I can't remember. I don't think so.
Ice
Did you get ice
cream.
cream? Yeah, we both
Yeah,
got
we got
ice cream.
yeah.
We saw our friends, so former podcast guest Mark Bezanson, who was my high school music teacher or junior high. His band Joker's Right opened for our other friend's band, the Stanfields.
Yes.
So that was a lot of fun. And it's a beautiful venue there. I mean, it's outdoor. There's a stage. And of course, the wildfires are still burning in that area. So
Off in the distance, the smoke is billowing out from the West Dalhousie wildfire, which is now over 3,000 acres and getting close to some familiar places to us. So it's a little scary.
Yeah, well, we know how it feels, so we wanted to go and spread a little cheer as much as we could with my family and all of those we encountered, but just a fun summer memory despite that. And back to this week's guest that we will tie into horses and horse racing. Love this segue.
Yeah.
So Taylor Jensen is just a rising star from your hometown in Cape Breton. She's somebody that we've had our eye on for quite a while, that we knew that we wanted to have on the show. And we've been kind of following her career. And I've found, especially in the last, say, 6 to 8 months, she's just kind of exploded on the scene. And she has roots right in rural Nova Scotia, like you and I.
Yeah, right after she recorded her first song here, like we did that track in the studio and just around the way where we recorded the drums. But I remember right after that, you said, should we get Taylor on? I said, 100%, but let's let her get her feet wet in the industry and get just some experience, because she's played music forever, but this was going to be kind of her first real release and kind of getting involved in the community. And she would have been a great guest then, but I think it's nice for her to get some awesome big shows under her belt and release a few songs. And I think it's the perfect time to have her on.
Perfect time with not only the growth in her career, but just as a person. I have had the honor, really, of knowing Taylor as a friend for the last little while, and just she's a really special soul. She's very wise. I think she has really tapped into her intuition and being able to follow the signs of the universe, and this has guided her. And she has a lot of maturity and kindness to share with everyone. And this is reflective in her music, but anyone that's met her, I think, would say the same. She's just a very special person to spend time with.
Yeah, and we have a great conversation, and I don't know if we explained the horse connection there yet, but her family's very heavily involved in harness racing in my hometown, and we mentioned her grandmother in the episode. We'll let that story speak for itself, but she's an amazing woman. And Taylor's just on a tear lately, and it's amazing to see, and I'm excited for all the things that come for her, and nice to see someone from my hometown getting into the industry as well, and just proud of her and all she's done.
Taylor has had some of the biggest moments in music of her life in the last couple of months, and this has all happened during a time of grief for her. She recently lost her mom, and to see how she has shown up in the midst of this, knowing how that feels, is just all the more spectacular. She has handled herself with such grace and patience, and has honored her mother and her family so beautifully. And we're just really proud to see that and witness that in her.
It's amazing. And she also has a show coming up at your space at Togetherland.
Yeah, so she is leading a songwriter circle. I kind of gave her all creative liberty, saying I'll support you in any way that you like, but I wanted for her to choose people that she wanted to share the stage with and curate a set list and how she wanted to go about it. So Timothy Hatcher of Good Dear Good, who we've had on the podcast before, will be joining her. And Avery Dakin as well, who I can't wait to watch perform. We've heard only amazing things about Avery, and everyone's really excited for this show. It's happening on Saturday, August 30th. At Togetherland. Nice, I've put the link to the tickets in the show notes, and you can find that on my website as well. But I just look forward to hearing more about Taylor as a person and the inspiration behind songwriting. This is sort of the art that you don't always get to hear about. So that's the joy of a songwriter circle. And I know that you'll be there doing sound, and you've done lots of songwriter circles yourself. Yeah. So you know that they're a little bit different and just a unique way to get to know the artist.
You get to hear things about the songs that you wouldn't otherwise, and really diving deep into the core of them, how they came to be. And I love song circles just because you can really let your personality shine and can be whatever, fun or goofy or serious, whatever it is, or maybe a mixture of all those things. And you just have the spotlights because people are curious about what your song's about. And I often do at just regular shows talk about the songs, but sometimes people just want to hear the song. But at Song Circle, people are going with the expectation to learn about where they come from. So it's nice to be in that position.
Well, and this is a good prequel to that, to learn a little bit more about Taylor, who will be more or less the host of that songwriter circle. So let's pass it over to her and enjoy, everyone. And please keep your eyes open for this one. She's going places.
Woo! Make it!
Hello, friends. Today's episode is brought to you by our very own Togetherland Art Gallery, located at 7628 St. Margaret's Bay Road in Ingrimport, Nova Scotia. That's halfway between Tantallon and Hubbard's if you've never been.
Togetherland is the perfect place to make and buy art, watch a show, or find your community of other like-minded beauties.
Open Tuesday through Sunday, this community hub is a gathering place for collaboration and experimentation. It's right on the ocean, too, so you can take in that fresh, salty sunshine.
Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m., we host Open Mic with Mike. Music, poetry, comedy, kazoo solos, it's all welcome. We've got instruments and warm hugs. You bring the rest.
And on Studio Sundays, we make art together. Bring your projects or grab an art kit at the gallery to start exploring some creative ideas with your pals.
Bring snacks too if you'd like. We respect snacks.
We've got concerts, workshops, and wellness offerings that'll have you stretching your body and your imagination.
Plus, Togetherland offers free parking, BYOB, and has family-friendly vibes for all events. It's the kind of community you always wished existed.
See you for Season 3 at Togetherland. Find event listings at KristenHarringtonArt.com.
Make it.
There.
How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Coziness.
I always joke the back of my head's very flat.
Mm-hmm.
I always joke they didn't give me enough tummy time when I was baby.
Just a little bit longer. Or maybe it's designed so that you can just lay back and relax a little bit more.
It's very like straight. I don't know what's going on in there.
So are hats tight in your head or loose? Like, how do hats fit you?
Well, I know how hats fit you.
Yeah, not well.
They're usually very loose.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But you wear the headband a fair bit, though. Like,
I do.
That's kind of part of your style.
I can adjust that one.
That's true. Yeah.
That part's funny because I find my style now is very reflective of my style when I was like 5. Yeah.
Meaning?
I don't know. I think I just get to like reconnect with my childhood self.
Mm-hmm.
What,
I was
when
like
you were
scared to
5,
be here for a little while.
Were you making choices to wear what you were wearing when you were 5?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was bad though. My mom would want me to wear different things than I wanted to wear, and I would hide outfits in my school bag.
Oh, yeah.
And I would change into them when I got to school.
Yeah. That was big at school dances. Because your skirt would just be 6 inches shorter at the very least of what was tucked away in your locker for the dance.
I don't think I
I
considered what I wore until I was about 13.
Okay. I thought you were going to say that's not yet happened to you.
Well,
like,
I don't. Every guy in my class wore jogging pants up until a certain point, and they're like, "Oh, maybe I should switch to jeans now."
Yeah.
And that's usually around 13.
Yeah.
There's one guy in my class never made the switch. It was jogging pants forever.
Yeah, love that guy.
But
comfy.
Yeah, he was more comfortable than all of us.
It is funny to look back at our generation of high school, especially compared to fashion and skincare and makeup and hair and everything now, that lashes and
everything
that just didn't exist. So
no.
I don't know. But do you feel like your fashion sense or your style is reflective of you?
I do. I think it is going through a little bit of a change right now, as I feel like I'm shifting and changing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not even changing. I think I am just coming back to who I was before.
Your inner child.
Yeah. Before the world told me who to be, for a lack of
that's
quoting
nice,
something I seen on Instagram or something. But yeah.
And has that happened naturally for you, or is it something you've put energy into?
I've put a little bit of energy into it. this is so funny, but I went to a random tarot card reader like 3 years ago, and she was like, "You will come into yourself and like your successes once you learn to take the mask you've been wearing for years off." And I weirdly knew exactly what she was talking about. I had this very like people pleasing, like afraid to be who I was, for scared of being vulnerable, or like being perceived or seen. And the minute I started to unravel that, the minute things I've always looked forward to in my life started coming into my life, I was just like, people do kind of like me sometimes for me just being me. I don't have to be. Yeah.
What was your process of unraveling that? Because I think that is something that people, ourselves included, are dealing with all the time.
Yeah.
Like being especially people in Eastern Nova Scotia, we just want or Eastern Canada, we want so bad to to be kind to other people, to put them first.
Absolutely.
To really just, not consider our own feelings, our own selves at times. And people pleasing is definitely something that is rampant in Nova Scotia.
So rampant. I think it's more, I can still be kind and help others, but putting up those boundaries where if it doesn't take away from myself, like I don't try to be a good person. I feel like that's just in my nature sometimes to like help people. But doing it in a sense that it's not taking from an empty cup. Like I make sure I take care of myself first almost. And not in a super selfish way, but just doing like the basic things that I know I need to be able to show up as the person I want to show up as in my day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be taking an extra minute to brush my teeth or like something really, really simple. But I always make sure I put in those minutes to make sure, like I set an intention before I go on stage every time to just like be my authentic self when I go out there. Like that's what I'm trying to do. I don't want to try be someone I'm not. I can't, honestly. I don't have the energy to anymore. Like I don't have it in me to not be me.
Do you say a certain sentence or a mantra to yourself?
It kind of changes.
Yeah.
It changes. Sometimes it'll depend if I'm like really anxious or something that day. I'm like, just go have fun. Just go have fun. Like it's not that deep. You're doing what you love at the end of the day, and like that's all that you wanted to do as a little kid. So like she'd be pumped if she knew I was playing on the Winter Warmer stage.
Totally.
Like, come on.
And sometimes you need to be the one to tell yourself those things because you're not hearing it from someone else.
No, exactly. I think I've learned to be resilient on my own. I didn't always have someone being like, oh, that was such a good job. It's just kind of, Taylor did this thing, cool. What's the next thing? But yeah.
Do you find it hard to be present when you're on stage?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I do get distracted. I get distracted sometimes and forget a word or two. Someone waves at me, I wave.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, that's not what I'm doing. But yeah, sometimes there's in my sets now, I've really tailored it to, I'll do some band stuff if I'm with a band or like with my full guitar, but there's always a moment in the show in the middle where I kind of stop and I just kind of ask everyone to like be in the room for a minute.
Yeah.
And I usually sing Dreams by Fleetwood Mac after that point. But I'm just like, let's just forget the outside world and like just be in this room with each other for a second.
Yeah.
And I like really break down the set in the middle. I feel like the energy almost shifts. And then the second half of the set is always just like super magical after that point.
I can see that helping you.
It does. It really brings me into the moment too. It's not even just for the crowd or whoever's listening. It like takes me. And I can really feel my feet like planted on the ground in that moment.
I've been thinking about this for open mic nights at Togetherland. I will often get up before Mike kicks things off and just do announcements. Like, here's, if you're new to the gallery, this is kind of the lay of the land, and then this is what's coming up. These are the events we have. But I go from greeting people at the door and it's kind of high energy and giving hugs to running onto the mic and doing that. And I'll kind of like miss that pause in between that I probably need and kind of get like shortness of breath because I'm thinking, and also like I was just really active in my body. And so I've been thinking about doing some version of that for myself, but also this concept of if we're here at Togetherland and togetherness is the point. Let's just take 10 seconds and, you know, take a breath together or just look around and acknowledge that we're here. And I think that will help me just kind of settle in.
Yeah, just
so
a simple like 30-second like box breath can like really bring me into a moment when my heart's beating into my chest and I've had too much coffee and I'm buzzing like a bee.
Well, you've had some big buzzy moments in the last little while on stage.
I've had a couple.
Yeah. Can you tell me how you manifested being at Cavendish?
Cavendish was wild. I don't know when it was. It was a while ago that I made a like little promise to I never told anyone about it until recently, but I'd made this little promise to myself that I would never attend Cavendish until I was playing Cavendish. So this is like this little goal I set for myself, and different times have come up where I could have gone. It may not have been like financially feasible. I don't have however much it is to like throw and going over to PEI, and you guys know I don't drive.
You can always hitchhike, Taylor. Get that thumb up.
Maritime bus, come pick me up. But yeah, just all the accommodation, everything that goes, it just wasn't always feasible. And it was this past Christmas, I opened up, my parents are so funny. They had printed out a ticket and put it on the back of a Joe Louis box.
Oh.
So I like open up this box of Joe Louis, but there's like a Cavendish ticket.
Oh, it's like the cereal box with the prize in it when you're a kid. That's adorable.
I still have. It's like I can't throw this out. I kept it.
Yeah.
But it was to see. It wasn't for the whole weekend. It was just to see Lainey Wilson on the Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I did Thursday, Friday, Saturday this year. So it was see Lainey Wilson on the Saturday, and my mom had always said that she kind of saw a lot of me in Lainey Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way that she's like kind of just herself and like kind of quirky and funny, and I'm kind of like that, especially if you like really get to know me. I'm pretty silly. But so there was that, and I remember I was so excited, and I could tell they were so proud to have like gotten me this ticket. I could just tell like the pride. But there was a moment I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to like make an exception to my goal I set for myself, because there's no way I'm not going to see Lainey Wilson, knowing how like happy my parents were to get me this amazing gift. So it was fine, and I had reached out and pitched myself to the team who books for Cavendish, and hadn't heard anything, and I wasn't too concerned or like upset by it. I was just like, it's not my time. Whenever something doesn't work out for me in that kind of sense, I'm like, it's just not my time. I'm not at the space that I'm supposed to be in the universe or whatever. Like something else will come along and it'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. And then it wasn't a couple months before Cavendish. For some reason, this always happens. I get this really weird feeling in the morning. I feel really anxious and really like just unsettled, and I'll take a nap. And when I woke up for the nap, I checked my emails, and I'm looking on my emails and says CBMF. And I'm like, what does that stand for? And then I open it up, and I was like, oh, it's like they're asking if I want to have an emerging artist slot. And I was like, obviously, yes. But it was just like the funniest turn of events that happened to like, and now I don't have to break my rule to myself that I made. Like I get to do both.
It's
That's
incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's just like this weird. A similar thing happened with Blueberry Jam when I played a couple years ago, though.
Yeah.
I had that weird feeling in the morning, and I was about to take a nap, and I kid you not, I said this to myself. I was like, man, I'd really like to play Blueberry Jam. And I took a nap, and when I woke up, Rankin had messaged me. I don't think he knows that story, but it was just like the weirdest thing that ever happened. I was like, so this is like
napping is your secret sauce.
I love napping.
Yeah.
I'm a sleepy person.
Sleepy and
Well,
silly.
They say like when major events happen on planet Earth, like an earthquake or like a terrorist attack or something, like right before it actually happens, there's some measurement of energy that is different. Like something again, there's be a much better explanation out there, but there's a way that you can see and feel this tangibly. So you're tapped into that.
I got some kind of
in a good way. Like these are for bad things, I said, but this is an amazing way to do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have always been like a little spiritual, like witchy, for lack of a better term. So yeah, I've like really tapped into that, but it's just so funny.
I would describe you as someone that has an old soul, but a playful heart.
I agree with that.
Like you have a youthfulness about you, absolutely, but there's a wisdom as well that I have had the benefit and the privilege of having grown, especially over the last couple of years. Because I know you've worked with Mike and you've been here in the past.
I've been on this couch.
Yeah, you've been in here and you were just kind of getting started. And I mean, someone who we've always adored and admired and who we've wanted to have on the show. But I feel like, to your point of timing, the timing just feels so right to welcome you into the space, because you have just completely come into your own, or at least that's what I see from an outsider. I don't know if that's something you feel.
I feel it internally as well. I don't put a timeline on my life anymore. I just kind of let it happen as it will. And I try not to force things. Obviously, I try and I put effort into some things, and I want to do good. And I try to do things with more of a devotion rather than a discipline or I'm devoted to being the best version of myself and writing down for myself, but what does that look like? And really deep diving into the spaces around me.
And something like Cavendish, that was a goal that you had set. And we just heard the story of magic about how that came to be. Are you doing that now over and over and over again? Or are you just moving the goalpost a little? Like, now my eye's on this prize?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I'm very visual as well. So I always make a vision board at the beginning of the year on Pinterest. I'm a Pinterest scroller. And this year I even went as far to physically, I made a bingo card. Cavendish was one of the little bingo slots in there, but I hand drew out all the little idea. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I left some blank so I can fill them in, but a few of them have manifested themselves.
And if you get a full line on the bingo card, what happens?
I don't know. Energy surge.
Yeah.
Life is just awesome, bro.
Yeah, it's just great.
Yeah. So you grew up in the same town as me.
Yeah.
You're from Inverness, the best town. And I always knew you're a little bit younger than me, but you were playing music by the time you were how old? You were on the go pretty early.
I want to say I was 4 or 5. I played the fiddle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had Margie and Don Beaton were my teachers once upon a time. Chrissy Crowley was my teacher for a while. And I actually performed as a fiddle player before I
Your first time on stage was as a fiddle player?
As a fiddle player.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Before I ever sang.
Yeah.
I kind of kept singing under the wraps. I don't think anyone really knew I sang until I randomly sang one day.
Until you released your album.
Yeah.
So was it Celtic fiddle you were doing?
Yeah. Definitely Celtic. Funny thing, I'm more Irish than I am Scottish. And obviously Inverness and Cape Breton's very Scottish oriented.
Yeah.
But when I would play fiddle, they said I played like an Irish fiddler, which is so funny because I wouldn't know the difference. But but I still love the fiddle.
So
I'm
how did
inclined to pick it up again?
There's a lot
just
of
for fun.
That's
there's
exciting.
lots of fiddle in country music.
Absolutely. Not even to just for fun. To learn something, use my brain in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you pick up a different instrument that you're not used to playing, you look at things in a different way, and and then you go back to guitar and oh, maybe I should try this.
Why does this have so many strings?
But when did you start playing guitar and singing though?
I started playing guitar. I was 11 or 12. My parents had actually bought my brother a little cheap acoustic guitar so he could play guitar. And I took it and I went in the bedroom. My dad says I came out an hour later full ass playing guitar.
Country star.
I was okay. He's been playing the same chords for 20 years. Sorry, Dad. So that's kind of how I picked up guitar, and I only really learned guitar so that I could kind of gig on my own.
Yeah.
I would still not consider myself a guitar player. I don't know what I'm doing. I just make the sounds.
Yeah. That's fine. Lots of people are like that.
Yeah. And then I still didn't sing in public until I was 12 when I sang on stage for the first time. But I had originally in my basement on our desktop computer recorded a little video to submit to some little contest on CMT at the time.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called. But you would just send in little videos and try and make it to the next round.
Yeah.
And so I just submitted a video of me singing Drops of Jupiter by Train.
Yeah.
They had options. There was only 10 songs you could pick from. And so I uploaded it on the platform. And then everyone at school knew. And then there was a little Facebook group, Vote for Taylor. I think it's still on my phone. It's really funny. So then the cat was out of the bag that I sang. But the funny part was even then when I recorded that, people would be like, oh, I love how you made it a country version. I was never trying to make anything a country version. It was just how I don't know if it's how I articulate the words when I sing or if it's just what comes out. Maybe I have some old country singer soul.
Were you listening to country at the time?
I always grew up listening to country. It was always like my dad always plays like Merle Haggard and John Prine and George Strait and Willie and all the classics. My mom always had CMT on as well, but she was more like the modern, what was up to date.
Yeah.
So it's just always in the background. So yeah. And then next thing I know, my music teacher asked me to open for Mitch McDonald when he was on Canadian Idol at the time. He did a concert at the school. And I just sang one song.
Yeah.
I sang Perfect by Headley as a 12-year-old, not knowing what I was singing, this like big, deep song. And I think I was white as a ghost. And one of my classmates played piano. But that was kind of like that really lit a spark in me.
Yeah.
That moment was like.
So what was it like, in front of the audience there?
I think I blacked out.
Yeah.
I remember being like, did I sing the words? I don't remember. But I loved that feeling that like, it was such a high. I don't think until that point in my life, obviously I was 12, I was young, that I experienced of feeling that much emotion. That much excitement in a moment.
Was that at the gym in Inverness?
It was in the gym, yeah.
That's where I played my first ever show too.
Oh, cute.
Magical
gym.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever shared a stage or been on the same bill or festival or anything like that yet? Maybe not yet, but
I'm not sure.
I think we have.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to make that happen at some point.
I did used to attend the art center dances when Holding Up Grants would play.
Oh yeah. We used to. They were pretty fun.
That's going back.
Yeah.
We did a few every summer, not every summer, but we did a few summers in a row. We did a team dance during the Inverness gathering. That was good.
Those are some of the highlights of my gatherings back then.
Yeah.
Good time. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Were you a shy kid? Like,
yeah.
You talk about the feeling you had on stage. Did that help you kind of break out of your shell, or is that strictly for on stage that comes out in you?
I think that is actually a reason why I almost use music as a tool to help me through being really anxious and really shy. Because it was more people would come up to me and talk. I didn't have to initiate the conversation as much. So people would be like, "Oh, that was so good," or "That was so bad." They never said that. But yeah, it like opened up a connection portal for me. Then I could be like, "Oh, this makes it a little easier. I don't have to initiate it." Because I can be very awkward and like quirky.
Yeah.
Now, especially when I was younger, I was so shy. I was actually laughing today. I was like, I get so anxious ordering a coffee, but I can go up on stage and play the whole show. How does that work? I guess our brains are just wired that way sometimes. But yeah, I was very, very shy, very quiet.
So you play that show, play the Headley song, opening for Mitch McDonald. You're getting inspired. What happens next? Did you start writing?
Next? I did start writing.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, I don't think Taylor Swift was kind of around that time. So I definitely listened to her. I enjoy Taylor Swift. I wouldn't call myself a Swiftie.
Yeah.
But I do very much, I admire her as a person and an artist and a businesswoman. But I really actually clung on to Lights, who is a Canadian artist.
Yeah.
And Lights at the time I don't even know if her songs like February Air and stuff had come out yet. She was doing videos on YouTube. She was just sitting down writing acoustic singer-songwriter things that she had written. There was a song called River that I really liked, one called Quiet that I really, really liked. And honestly, she's a little bit of the reason why I started writing.
Oh, cool.
Which
she
is
just
funny.
played here, didn't she?
She did, yeah. I got to see her a couple of years ago open for the Art Gallery. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Neat.
But yeah, Lights was actually a really big influence for me to start writing.
What topics were you delving into off the bat?
The meaning of life.
12-year-old Taylor's
Wouldn't be surprised,
interpretation on the meaning of life.
Yeah.
I did weirdly write like some kind of like dark songs.
Yeah.
I think I think a lot of it was just about how I didn't feel like I fit in and stuff.
Yeah.
Even if that was just in my head, this idea, I'm like, oh, I don't fit in. When on the outside, I was completely fine. Like no one else thought that. But I did always feel like a little, I could never explain it. I think that was a little bit where my anxiety like sprouted from. I'm like, what is this weird feeling that I have? But I think a little part of it was just me like trying to break free right from the beginning. This like almost antsiness to like go and see the world. Like I always had this curiosity about the world and like different perspectives and views on things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you feel like that is happening now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love experiencing things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even if I'm a little scared, that's usually the best experience. Give myself a little shove.
Yeah.
Well, you feel so much better afterwards. Like it's.
Oh, absolutely.
I remember being a kid and they were hosting the first ever polar bear dip in Inverness, and like everyone going into cold water wasn't a thing at the time. And I remember being down there, and I was like 12 or something, and we all just stood on the shore, and no one knew what to do, and I was petrified. Like, oh, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna be awful. But I just said, I'm going for it. And I just dropped the blanket around me and sprinted in. And then everyone followed afterwards. And it was painful and it hurt. And but it came out. And then, the actual benefits of cold dipping, which no one really knew about. Like you get the energy in that afterwards. But there's this sense of accomplishment. It was something I was afraid to do. I did it. Now I grew a little bit taller.
Yeah.
You know, I feel a little bit braver. And then I always looked at events in life, like even just getting up on stage, like the first time on stage, like couldn't have been more afraid, really, like just absolutely petrified. But I knew, like, okay, if we do this and it goes okay, like if it goes bad, it's probably going to suck after. But if it goes okay, like this is going to feel pretty good. And it did. And you feel that confidence growing. And I went through this hard thing and I've learned from that. And constantly challenging yourself like that, that's how you grow as a human, I think.
Yeah.
One of the ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think there was a little quote or something I seen sometime, and it was just so simple. It was like, do one thing a day that scares you. And honestly, that's kind of where it started.
Yeah.
I'd just do like one simple little task a day, whether it was ordering my coffee or wearing something that maybe I thought the kids at school wouldn't like, but just like it scared me a little, but like I'd do it and I'd survive and I didn't die and I was fine.
Yeah.
And so I just kept like pushing that limit. Now the limit's really big. But yeah. And I also just always had a weird thirst for like knowledge and learning.
Yeah.
So I think that helps.
So you're writing songs, starting to play shows, playing guitar, singing. And I know you went to that gathering at Berkeley. What was the story there?
I went to a vocal summit for a couple weeks at Berkeley when I was 16.
Yeah.
I think I was going into grade 12, I believe. So yeah, I was like 16 or 17. And I had such a good time. I learned so much. The teachers when we were there were phenomenal. But also just that was the first time I was in like a bigger city. First time I flew.
Yeah.
I was just this like, I don't know, the world was my oyster. I did skip class a couple times because they almost treat it like 2 weeks of just like university. So you like have your class schedule and you go. And I skipped. I remember, I forget what class it was, but I skipped and I went to the guitar store and I just played guitars for a little while.
Such a rock star.
I was like, no one can tell me what to do. Yeah. That was the first time I had Starbucks.
Oh. Can you tell we're from small towns?
Yeah. I was like, whoa.
We got Robbins in Inverness now.
Yeah. Starbucks is the most exciting outing that we can have.
Yeah, it's funny. Now when I go to, where was I? I was in Sussex, New Brunswick. Which is pretty small, but I was like, man, they got a whole house Walmart here. They're living large.
Yeah, big city folk here.
So all these little moments seem to be propelling you, inspiring you to the next. Like, did you always have this fire under you, knowing I want to be a musician that's in some capacity?
I did always know that. I think the people pleasing and like wanting to almost. I think I didn't like making other people feel uncomfortable. So I would almost like make myself so like small and just like quiet that I would never disrupt anyone else's being or like upset anyone. So I would just kind of do that. But this was always plan A. There was never a moment where this wasn't what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I was saying to Kristen on the drive here that obviously I want to be an artist, and that's where I'm at right now, but I'm never pigeonholing myself into just being an artist. Maybe 20 years down the line, I'm an artist manager. I'm just always trying to gain industry knowledge and really keep those doors open, because I think life can just take you in so many directions that you never even imagined, and it can be the best thing that ever happened to you. So I'm just really trying to keep all the doors open, and yeah.
I loved that you shared that, and I wanted to dig into it more, but I knew that we would probably end up talking about this, because I feel like it's such a kind of healthy mindset to have, in that, of course, we want to be driven by a goal and be passionate about that and committed to it, but it's not necessarily saying, well, if this doesn't work out, I can do this. It's the recognition that we don't really know day to day what our life will bring, and so it can feel scary or it can feel exciting to take on some of that openness to what will come down your path. Yeah. Tell me about your emerald year.
Oh, my emerald year. Do you guys know Goldie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Goldie has an album or an EP called Emerald Year. Mm-hmm. And even before that, I had found her music and I was listening to it. And I'm a Gemini, and according to the astrology of my life, this is my emerald year. And it kind of coincided when I figured that out, and I was listening to this EP, and I journal. I've had journals since 2017. I have like 2 or 3 a year. And I actually had labeled before even that point that this was my emerald year. So I kind of gave each journal, like, I pick out the color and I write down almost like a saying or a mantra for that year. And this one was just the emerald year. And yeah, so I thought that was really cool too. And emerald's also my birthstone color.
And so, is there something about the emerald year that is specific? Like it will bring prosperity, or
it's kind of like prosperity and like a shift where things kind of work in your favor a little bit. So I've been trying to draw on that energy. Life was been throwing some curveballs, but I've been trying to really draw on that energy. And fulfill my emerald year.
Yeah, good. And does that end like end of 2025?
I think it's my birth year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you get some time. Yeah. I got some time. My birthday's not till next May. So
yeah, you're good then.
Yeah.
And are there specific things that you're putting energy into right now, knowing that you're kind of in this cocoon of safety and supportiveness?
Yeah, I am. This is actually the most like supportive and safe I've felt just in my overall environments. But I've been putting energy into myself, honestly, just like self-discovery, and I think that's bleeding into my music and my creative aspects of life. And so yeah, I just feel like it's an overall internal energy. I have been obviously putting more effort into music, but not in a forced way. It's just been what's calling my heart to do right now. And so I'm just letting it do its thing. Yeah.
It seems like over the last 2-ish years, your career really did start to skyrocket. And I know, like you said off the top, how you stop people pleasing and you're taking care of yourself. Was there a bigger push for music, or what were the other factors that really kind of set you on this course?
Absolutely. There was kind of 2 things that Venn diagrammed a little bit.
Yeah.
One was I took a very random 3-month trip to Costa Rica, which I know you guys have also been to Costa Rica, and I absolutely fell in love with it. But one thing, when I was over there, everywhere we went, there was just music playing. I even played guitar at one of the little pubs one day, just for fun.
Yeah.
But it really reminded me just like taking it all and looking around and seeing everyone dancing and listening to this music, that music is so universal. It doesn't have a language. It doesn't have any expectations of anyone else. It just is what it is, and it connects people. And that's the part that I've always really come back to, is that connection. Even when words fail to speak for themselves, like even just the musicality take all the lyrics away, just the notion of the music itself, how it brings people together. So that was one aspect. I also had a crazy journey back from Costa Rica that really kind of shifted my life. It involved me missing my flight from Toronto to Halifax and someone very kindly buying me a plane ticket home. There's a lot more to that story. But
can you tell us?
I can tell you a little bit.
Okay. It's okay if you don't
No,
want
I can
to
tell you
as
a
well.
little bit. I had missed my flight, and it was the first time I flew, and I was by myself. I had gone with a partner to Costa Rica, but I came back by myself.
Yeah.
And I know nothing about flying. Like, I was so naive, and I missed my connecting flight to Toronto, and I had no money. Like, no money. I had, in my bag, I had rolls of toonies and loonies that was like $150 in rolls.
Adorable. You can do laundry.
Yeah. If anyone needs laundry done. So I wasn't even hysterically crying at the gate because they had just closed the gate. I was just like sobbing to myself because I was like, what am I supposed to do? And I would never call my parents.
Yeah.
That was just like not an option. It was an option, but to me, it was just not an option. It's like, I can't. They can't know that I did this.
Yeah.
And there was another lady at the gate who had also just missed the gate. She was like, open the gate. They wouldn't. And had talked to her in the line. She asked me my name and stuff. And she was also coming to Halifax. And she had bought me a ticket to come back home. And it was the most selfless, like, insane thing I've ever... Like, that was just mind-boggling to me. I still have the ticket. It's on my wall as a reminder every day. And all she said was, just promise me you'll pay it forward someday. She's like, I was in the same position as you a couple of years ago. Now she's a doctor.
Incredible.
And
That's amazing.
it still makes me emotional. It took me weeks to even comprehend what had happened. I literally hid in
goosebumps.
I hid in Broad Cove for a couple of weeks. I didn't tell anyone I even came back.
Yeah.
I was just like, I need to
What does this mean?
digest everything. But that was a really pivotal moment.
Yeah.
I don't know what that did inside me. It was just, And so a little part of my mission all the time is to someday just be lucrative enough in my funds to pay it forward. But even then, like, you can pay stuff forward in so many other ways, whether it's holding a door or like sharing a smile on the street. It's the little things like that that I think really change people's lives. You don't know when someone's having a bad day and can just use a simple smile. Like, you really don't know. It's happened to me a million times.
Yeah, it doesn't
just a
take
little,
much.
stranger
No different
on the
than that
street.
act of bravery. It doesn't have to be this huge, ginormous thing.
Yeah,
but
it can be something
the
so
consistency.
small. Yeah, there's this poem I love. It's called Philip's Birthday that kind of touches on that. And it's really sweet. But so there was those. And then not long after, a couple months, was when my mom got diagnosed with ALS. And as a singer, it really affects your motor skills. And she wasn't able to speak. And she was only 52, I think, at the time. And I was like, I only have so many years left, and I was given this gift and love of singing, and I'm not utilizing it how I should. Like, what am I doing? Am I not utilizing it because I'm afraid to be seen, and I'm trying to play small to make everyone comfy? And I was like, that's such a disservice, not only to myself, but to the art, to the people even in the art community, to like not have those connections with those people. It really threw my whole life into perspective, and I was like, I'm doing this.
Yeah, sometimes these things come into our life that feel not like, why me, or not the right thing. And in a lot of ways, it's set the course for so much of your life.
Yeah.
Not only as an artist, but just as a beautiful human
as a
being.
Human. Yeah.
Yeah. How old were you when your mom was first diagnosed?
I was 25 or 26. Yeah. I think.
And did you know anything, or did your family know anything about ALS, or you were
Not
learning
really.
everything?
We were learning everything. Even the diagnosis itself wasn't super like, this is what it is at first. It took a little while to figure it out exactly. And then it was just for 2 years I didn't hear her voice. Like, all I have now is just like voice memos or like little silly videos and stuff. And like yeah, and she always loved music. It was definitely like a shared thing we did together. She always gave me those little pushes. she never forced me. My parents were never like, you should do music, or like force me in that direction. That was very much like a me decision, but they were always supportive of it.
Right.
Even when I dropped out of university, I thought they were going to give me hell, and they were like, no, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. They were more like, make your own mistakes, and if you really need us, we'll be here to like catch you a little bit, like this little safety net.
And were they present? Were they able to attend your shows and kind of watch this process with you?
A little bit. It got harder for my mom, obviously, to attend shows as her mobility and stuff shifted. But when I was younger, that she was always at all the little shows, whether it was a fisherman's picnic or a little charity event somewhere in Port Hood. She was always driving me because I always need a driver.
Yeah. This you've known about yourself for a while too, huh?
But yeah, so those 2 events really, I guess 3 events, really catapulted things into perspective. And it really just awakened something that was already in me all the time. Right. It just took away all the other layers, and it was like very, very clear to me then. I was like,
Well, it's amazing that you were self-aware enough to recognize these things. You were open, and you're just willing to adjust and adapt. And I think a lot of people have moments like that happen in their lives, but they're not in a space where they can actually accept it and use it in a positive way.
Yeah.
But the 3 very different things, like that maybe, I don't know, maybe that combination of things never happened to anyone in history or whatever. But people have obviously different things happening to them all the time, but a lot of people aren't perceptive enough to just let it guide them, and to recognize this is how the universe, the higher power, is working for you, for better or for worse. And you can take that as inspiration and move on to where you're supposed to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was I always had these little epiphany moments, if you will. But one of them was this time I was like, well, something happened. I was like, why me? It was something bad. I was like, well, why would that happen to me? And I was like, why wouldn't it happen to me? I'm not better than anyone else. Like, I have just as much chance of something bad happening as the next guy. And then I was like, well, apply that to music. Like, why not me? Why can't I do it? And that was a very like little moment. I was like, no, we all are presented with these options and things in life. It's kind of what you do with the curveballs thrown to you that change and shift.
I feel like that reframe though is not as common. Like it's one thing to say, why me?
Yeah.
We tend to ask ourselves that when something bad happens, but maybe are less open or have less conviction in the message of why not me?
Yeah. Why
like
not?
That feels kind of less common, or we resist that for some reason, but it's just as possible for it to work out as it not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like as just humans in general, we do tend to dwell on the like why me mentality a lot. Sometimes I feel like it's almost like celebrated in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that fully, but it's more celebrated almost to talk about the woes in your life than like the good celebratory things.
Yeah, well, we kind of come together, you know, like misery loves company. I think that's the term.
Absolutely.
But I believe it's just as infectious to be hopeful and positive and all of that, which is always what you bring to the table. So,
I always look at bands or just people who found huge success in life. And I remember the old band I was in 20-ish years ago, Billy's Flick. Like, we always had this idea, and a lot of it's just like a crazy confidence and just the belief that young 20-year-olds often have. But we were like, why can't we be this hugely successful band? Like, someone has to become that. Like, someone's gonna fail miserably. Someone's gonna rise to be selling out arenas around the world. Why can't it be us?
Yeah.
Like, we're from a kind of a poor little town, but there's other bands out there who achieve massive success who are from little towns. And I think it is a hard thing to do, like you're saying, but I feel like it's exactly, you have as good a chance of finding success or whatever success means to you in any way as someone from New York who grew up with millionaire parents. Maybe they have more advantages, maybe there's different things that will help them get there, but maybe they don't have the work ethic of you. They don't know how to get through hard things. Because a lot of people from small towns or who maybe don't have a lot of opportunities often see that as a negative thing. But I also see it as like, I can work for 14 hours a day if I have to, because that's how I grew up.
Did that since I was 11.
I gotta go all out, and I've seen the people around me working like that, and can use that as a superpower, essentially. Like if you maybe grew up with a lot of opportunities and had all these things given to you, maybe you don't have that ability. That's just an example too. Like we're all different people with different inspirations and different ideas of what success is, of how to get there, but our own unique abilities, when we lean into them fully, I think are what can truly take us to where we're supposed to go.
Absolutely.
And I feel like you're in that zone completely right now.
Yeah. I think there's definitely even just little moments growing up that grew those seeds. I planted those seeds and grew them for me. I know one was my family on both sides has racehorses in Inverness up at the racetrack, and we had one of the horses and he couldn't race anymore. My grandmother had him in the barn, and for all of winter I wanted to keep him as a riding horse. And so I would wake up so early in the morning and I'd go take care of him, and come spring they just gave him away. Which is what happens in those instances. Like, he wasn't mine. And also just because you put in so much work sometimes, if something's not meant for you, it's just, it's not meant for you. And I learned that lesson, just because I put all this work in for something doesn't mean I get success.
It's not always going to work out.
It's not guaranteed, But at the same time, if I didn't try, I wouldn't know. Maybe we did keep that horse and I wouldn't be sitting on this couch right now, because that's the path I took instead, because that horse opened that avenue for me to stay in Inverness and work with the horses. I don't know that.
Or you were on that horse and it bucked and you fell off and broke your arm and couldn't play guitar.
No, exactly.
Anything's
there's so
possible.
many. Exactly. So, I just think little things like that.
With that in mind, what does making it mean to you?
What does making it mean to me? Honestly, I think making it means any successes that I can find in life or achieve in life are only making it to me if I am my authentic self doing it. If I show up as the best me that I can be in that situation, and the best me is honestly with the most kindest open heart to make someone feel like they are meant to be in that space then and there. That's it to me.
It's very powerful.
You're doing it now then. You've made it.
Sick.
Insert
always admire the
applause.
podcast. This is a little moment for me in itself. So
Oh, it's a moment for us as well. Just
be
seeing
here.
what you have brought to the table. It's really incredible. And I know you've also talked before about, obviously you want for your audience to be part of the show, and you're considering them and their experience and love this idea of community, but you've also talked about you're not necessarily driven by money or success in that way of things. And whether we like it or not, this industry requires maybe an element of that. And I just wonder how you kind of strike that balance of knowing these are my values, and you're a person that very much stays true to them and is familiar with that. But sometimes it can be at odds with what we think, at least the business needs for us to do. Talk about that part of your life.
Doing music and being in a space really fuels my soul, and I've felt in the last couple of years I may have been not as rich in funds as I've been in the past, but I feel so much richer in just life experience. And that's kind of where I draw my value from, is experiences. And I wouldn't have a lot of these experiences if I wasn't doing music. Like, it's opened up so many things that have driven my soul. So I'm not super, I never did this wanting to be famous or in the spotlight or to be super rich. I mean, I wouldn't complain if I was, but that's just not what drives me. But obviously I need to eat and I need to live somewhere. And so that part does get a little hard sometimes. But there is different ways to do it. And I've also just become so adaptable at what I need in life. I don't need the big fancy things. I know that about myself. So yeah, I guess just kind of finding that balance of like, as long as I have my basic needs and I'm rich in connection and music, then I still feel okay. And hopefully we can make some fun someday.
I wonder, Mike, like, this is something we've talked about before, but how would you answer that question of kind of maybe requiring to recalibrate yourself a little bit in order to be better at the business side of things? Like, is that something that you're actively doing as a creative person? Because I believe that we all sort of need to be in an open or a certain state of mind to get into flow or create work that is authentic, to your point. Like, if this is the goal, especially, then you really need to know and work on yourself for that to even come out in the first place. Are you doing things on the regular as someone that's been in this industry for years to kind of keep bringing yourself back to that point? Because we're different than we were, not only 20 years ago, but last week in some instances. So how do you maintain that sense of self in order to talk about it?
Well, from the start of the question, on the business side of things, I try to do as little as possible in that world, while still being able to focus on the things that I care about. Like, I'll finish a project for someone, like send them their songs, like, oh, that was awesome, like, great to work with them. Like, oh yeah, I got to get paid too. And then I'll send them like an invoice. Oh yeah, you owe me this as well. But I don't know. I'm definitely not a business person. But say that question again, because
like, in order to express yourself creatively, especially in an authentic way, like Taylor's describing, her idea of making it is staying true to that. But we all know that who we are shifts and ebbs and flows, and sometimes you need to kind of reconnect with that place within yourself. Like, who am I now? Do you have a practice that helps you kind of rediscover that?
Well, I think my art, what I'm creating, and my creative output has always been the same, where I'm just capturing what it is I'm experiencing, what I'm feeling, what the world is saying to me, what I'm recognizing in the world and people. So my output, of course, is going to change because I'm looking at those things in different ways at different times, but the way in which I do it has always stayed the same, because that's just, I'm putting up the antennas, trying to put out the feelers to see what I'm absorbing and what speaks to me. I guess sometimes when the times where I need to recalibrate things is when I may be focusing too much on the business side of things.
Yeah.
It's when, like, oh shit, I need to make more money, so I have to really focus on that side of things, where when I don't have to focus on money, it's never on my mind at all. It's like, okay, I got enough to pay bills, to do this and that, and to survive and keep our house in good shape. And if at any point that's starting to, I guess, fade away, or there's any cracks in that, and then I start focusing on business, because that's when I realize I need to make money, or I need to we have this payment coming up and I have to focus on a way to make money rather than maybe just day to day waking up and focusing on the art, which it never changed. It's not like things are going hard. I'm like, okay, I have to write a song that more people can relate to. I'm not doing that, but it's like, okay, I maybe need to try to get more clients for the studio, or I need to get the money from the people that owe me money. I need to track that down. But, and then after that, you're like, okay, I didn't write a song in X amount of time, or I haven't been creative in this amount of time. And I feel like for me, I just have to do it. Like I need just to pick up a guitar and sit down, or I need to go for a walk in the woods when we're allowed to, you know.
We're over here giggling.
Yeah. We're currently not allowed to walk in the woods for all you future listeners. But yeah, I think it's just centering myself with the things that I enjoy, like going to the beach, going, and it's usually just observing things around me. I need to go back to the root of what inspires me. And that could be just people watching and having a notebook and writing, or just having a conversation with a friend and thinking about something in a new way, and that brings an idea for some creative piece, or listening to podcasts on audio engineering and just approaching that in a new creative way. So I think it's always just going back to the things that matter to me, back to the things I know inspire me. Yeah, sometimes you're just so busy you can't do that. And I'm sure, I know you're working at the brewery there still, are you? No?
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, I'll cut that out. that's
As a Friday, no.
Oh, okay. Well,
but I was up until
no.
See, life changes.
I was going to say, I know,
this is my whole point.
I'm still there until the end of the month.
Sometimes the money-making thing, whatever it is, you're at a brewery, you're washing cars, whatever the hell you're doing. Anyone, sometimes you have to put more focus on that, and you're taken away from the creative thing that you just love. And I try to do it every day, and everything I do, I try to make it a creative act, I guess. But it's not possible all the time, and sometimes the business side, which I do not enjoy that much, has to be focused on, because that, again, back to what you said, we got to eat, we got to pay our bills, so we have to focus on that. And luckily, all the ways I make money are from creativity right now for me. Yeah, you just have to make that balance as best as you can and work through it.
Does that feel resonant? I wanted to ask you, because you've been doing this for 20 years longer maybe, and was just curious how you might think about a question like that, having had the experience you had, and if it's the same for you, kind of being at an earlier stage in your career, and like, no, it's always coming back to this anchor that's, distilling down what you've said. But like, how does that feel for you? Do you have the same approach?
A similar approach, not the exact same, but I'm kind of doing it right now, whereas, well, I made that shift on Friday. I don't think I'm going to stay like that, but right now, and part of that was, I just felt like a couple weeks ago that I was leaning a little too almost on the business aspect, and I was kind of forgetting that I am an artist first, and that I need to create something to like feel me, and I wasn't feeling myself. I was like feeling that little slip, and I was like, oh, something needs to shift back. But I kind of luck out. I do actually kind of like the business part of it as well. I feel like my brain has always been like that, and like a little contradictory. It's
You're
like
a Gemini.
No, exactly. People are always like, oh, Geminis are two-faced. I'm like, no, it's my creative brain and my business brain. I have both. But yeah, sometimes if that balance does go off, I go back into the creative aspect of it. But I really think too, you just need to live life sometimes, and for lack of better words, do it for the plot. To have, not to seek out stuff to write about, but writing and storytelling is about your experiences in life, and can't really
You have to live.
You have to live your life in order to keep creating.
It's a great reminder.
Yeah, exactly. So even if there's like an orange on the table, I'm always thinking to myself, I'm like, someone else might see an orange. I literally see 10 million different colors. I'm wondering what truck it came on and who picked the orange, and like all these different questions about it. I think just having curiosity about life, not just like seeing things always just as they are, like asking those questions.
Yeah. Tell us about Strange.
Strange. Strange is a strange song. I wrote Strange. Weirdly enough, I wrote Strange before I wrote Over. So the single that came out before it. I wrote it 2 weeks before I wrote Over. I think I was reminiscing something that was going to happen in 2 weeks. It was like a promotion of this. It's taken a different toll since I have written it. The way it's been released, the way it's been perceived in the world has been very different than the other two. From a business perspective, the trend of the streams has been very different. It's more of a slow burn almost, whereas other ones went pew and then like kind of dwindled off. This one's kind of like, and I think I like that. I think I like giving it space to connect with people on a deep level, not just that first listen and then onto the next thing. It like has a little more meaning to people, which has more meaning to me because the song itself was written from a very more vulnerable. I'd feel like since I wrote that song, I've gotten way better at being vulnerable in my songwriting, and I feel like my songwriting's grown tremendously. But when I wrote that song in particular, that was the first time I've been a little more vulnerable in details and a little more. It was recorded straight from the page of my journal, like the demo version versus what was recorded. Nothing has changed besides like the production of it. But Strange is pretty much. I asked, forgive me for using AI, I asked ChatGPT to describe Strange, and it kind of described it as this heartbreak song. And I was like, well, not really. It's more of a song about how we tend to dwell on these preconceived rules of life and these timelines, and how I just think that's kind of strange that we let those things hold us back from truly living. That no matter what we're dwelling on or the things that we can't change, the world's just going to keep going around regardless. And so yeah, it's definitely a more introspective song. When I pitched it, I said that I was like, it's not really a country song about like dirt roads and horses and trucks, and like it has a little more of a depth to it.
Country music needs that.
Yeah, I really draw on. I love Casey Musgraves and I love John Prine, and I love storytelling. Like it really goes back to me to just storytelling. I've always been a storyteller. I've always loved writing in English class. I always had a wild imagination. I'd make up stories to my classmates when I was a kid. Some would call it lying. I call it really dramatic stories. But yeah, I've just always kind of had that. And I never sit down either with a specific genre when I'm writing. It's just kind of whatever comes out. Sometimes they're a little more country. Sometimes they're a little more folk indie.
Yep.
Once in a while it'll be R&B or something wild. But I think also in creating, not pigeonholing yourself to a specific genre. I never, obviously I lean into the country bit, but like I've never completely labeled myself as country. It's just kind of what happened. And I'm not against it. I love country. That's how I grew up. But as I'm shifting, there's definitely a lot of different influences in it. Even when I pitched Over to Spotify and Apple, I said that I really love hip hop phrasing because I do. And like sometimes I try to squish too many words in a sentence during a song and it kind of sounds like I'm rapping, but it's not intentional. I never try to do that. It's just all these different influences coming out when I'm creating. And sometimes I don't even feel like I'm the one writing the song. I swear someone has put the song in me and I'm just like the little vessel that it's coming through.
Yeah, you're able to get into flow. And you hear this from people and it is sort of, I don't want to say effortless because of course we all know that we work our tails off, but there are moments of that feel pure and real and true and meant to be.
Yeah.
And so why not embrace it? And for that song not to have shifted aside from production, I think really speaks to that experience.
Yeah. And it was a song that I wrote probably in a half hour or something. Like it was just very pen to paper. Mm-hmm. That was the song.
Mm-hmm. Creative or not, who are your influences?
Ooh, my influences, my grandmother.
Yeah.
She's a tough one.
Your grandmother, right, is who rides the horses through Inverness? Like, I fell in love with your grandmother, I think, my first visit to Inverness. Cool. And I didn't know you at the time, but this came up maybe a few years ago that you were like, well, that's Taylor's grandmother. What? Like, the most exciting thing I'd ever heard.
Does she still do it?
She kind of stopped this year.
Yeah.
So we don't have a horse in the barn currently. Mm-hmm. But up until then,
because she's like in her 80s, right? And
she's 88, 89, somewhere around
this
there.
Woman, you guys, like, just steal your heart, I swear.
She's always been. But even then, she's not the kind of grandma that like tells you you're pretty or like compliments those things. The thing she has told me in my life is I'm smart and then I am strong. That I look strong.
Oh, I love her
and
even
like
more.
I don't know. I just love those things.
Oh, my grandmother, who was legally blind, used to tell me how pretty I was. Isn't that so sweet? Which to me was like the same thing as not as like commenting on my looks because she couldn't tell. Like, pretty to her just meant exactly that. Exactly. So I thought that was sweet. No, so your grandmother,
she's up there. Yeah. Casey Musgrave, this one. I just love. I don't know her
yet,
but I think she seems pretty down to earth, and she wasn't afraid to bend the rules a little bit when it came to the genre, and just be very almost like blunt and a little. I don't want to say kitscheny, but like her first stuff definitely started out that way, and I feel like she's really introspective and like questions the universe and life, and I really connect with her on that level, not even just like musically but just from like a life perspective. Who else? Honestly, I feel really grateful because I get to open for her on Saturday, but Rhea, I think Rhea is a really cool down to earth person. Something that I haven't really gotten to meet Rhea yet, but just watching Rhea doesn't seem like an artist to me. That she's very true to herself, and where I'm pretty quiet and like introverted, Rhea was kind of a reminder to me that like I don't have to go over the top and be some like flashy, wild. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but it's not me.
Yes.
And that I can be successful even if I'm a little more quiet, and like that doesn't mean that I don't have a voice. It's just a little quieter. So I'm really excited to like meet Rhea, and even the fact I'm opening for her, that's not even, I'm just excited to listen to her sing after I'm done. Like, that's what I'm looking for.
You're there for the show just as much.
I'm really just there for the show.
Well, that's an excellent role model to have in mind. She truly is a soulful human being, and I couldn't agree more with that approach. And you feel that, like you know when somebody's just comfortable and there to be exactly that themselves. So that's very cool.
Yeah, even like the way I dress. I was catching myself like being at these country festivals and stuff. I'm like, oh, I need to wear more fringe and more cowboy boots. I'm like, no, just wear whatever you want. And I've always been like that. I've always just like worn whatever I wanted, whether it's a jersey on stage one day and then I'm wearing a Canadian tuxedo the next day. Like that's just kind of who I am. I feel very like chameleon-like in that way. Like you never know. My boyfriend says that. He's like, I never know what you're going to come out wearing. What like vibe we're going to get that day.
Back to the Gemini thing.
No, exactly.
I think there's more than two sides.
Oh, there's, I'm a pentagon.
Well, I have to ask about a shameless plug in your upcoming Songwriter Circle at Togetherland. Okay. So let's talk about that exciting date, August 30th. Who's on the lineup and what do you have planned? And I know it might not be a fully formed idea, but let's talk a little bit about this show.
Absolutely. So we have the lovely Avery Dakin. I saw her perform. We've actually, all the artists, we've done a songwriters retreat together.
Oh, great.
Back in February. We rented a house out in Hubbards in the woods, and we just all had a good time and wrote songs.
Unreal.
But yeah, Avery, I saw her perform with her full band. Outside of that, at the basement of the shoe shop, and I was absolutely blown away. But also Avery is just like also one of the most genuine, kind souls I've met she's just always the same. And I'm really excited to hear her songs. I know she's got some new stuff. I know we're going to collab on some stuff. I know there's going to be some harmony sung. Yeah.
I can't wait.
So it's not going to be like song for song. It's going to be very collaborative, very engaging, very with the crowd. And then we have Timothy Hatcher, who I actually went to St. FX with.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
okay. Of Good Dear Good, who we had on the show before, the
Absolutely.
podcast. Yeah.
And yeah, Tim, kind of the same thing. Like no matter where I am, whether it's Music Week or the ECMAs, it's just always been the same, always friendly, always very open and welcoming. And again, that's like a value I have. And so I really wanted them to come and join. And I think it's going to be a great time.
I'm just so excited to have these kind of up and coming young talents showcased at the gallery. I really believe it's grown to be a space of course, inclusion and celebration and community, all of which I know are important to you. But I also, when I reached out to you, was kind of like, I want you to run the show. Like, I want you to make the decisions. And obviously I'm here to support you and promote and all the things. But I just see your talent and capability and knew whoever you brought in would be the perfect fit. I can't wait for you and Avery and Timothy just to take over the night. And we've got tickets up for sale, of course, for that night, August 30th. And what else do you have upcoming, or is there anything else that we've missed that you would like to share with the audience?
Well, we do have, it'll be over, but I'm playing with Rhea on Saturday. And then I also have Giant Stalk is the day after the show at Togetherland.
Right.
That's going to be a good time. They're doing tattoos on site. So we might
Are you getting one?
I really want to. I only have one. I have a very silly little tattoo on my finger. A stick and poke from my living room that didn't stick. So, and then I'm heading to Kelowna for the CCMAs, which I'm very, very, very excited about.
Very cool.
Very excited. Yeah.
Are you performing there?
I am. Yeah, I'm playing. Good. It's called Diamonds in the Rough Stage.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun to get a chance to play while I'm out there.
I'd say.
Taking everything in.
And what's the date of that?
It's September 10th to the 13th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be out there. I love BC. So I'm excited to go back. Yeah.
This is awesome, Taylor. It's been an amazing journey watching you over the last couple of years. And
yeah, it's kind of started a little bit on this couch.
Yeah. That I still love that song. It's an amazing track, and that's kind of been your big launch, I guess, out to the world. Was that
was like
song?
My digital footprint, if you will.
Yeah.
And you recorded that song.
Yeah.
The vocals. Yeah, we didn't really get to talk about that, but you guys have worked together in that capacity.
Yeah,
so.
I recorded the vocals for End of the Road right here, sitting right here with the mic.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
Played lots of guitars on that one.
Yeah.
It's a great track.
Thanks.
But yeah, your journey has been amazing to watch, and excited to see where it takes you over the next little bit.
Me
but
too.
I know it's going to be exciting. So
yeah, it's really been incredible, Taylor, to get to know you and have this opportunity finally to sit down and learn more about your craft. And I know we're stuck together now. So, I mean, this is not the last time, but I look forward to welcoming you to the gallery and just following your career. You've got big things going for you.
Thank you for welcoming me in your home again. Yeah. I love this space. So I'm happy to be here.
Anytime. Yeah. Well, thanks, everyone. And check out Taylor's. We'll put all the links, of course. But Strange is your latest single out, and it's a banger, as they all are. And just really proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay, cheers, folks. Woo.
Everyone get a woo. Make It with Mike and Kristen is recorded and produced by Michael S. Ryan at Hot Jupiter Sounds.
Intro and outro music by me as well.
Cover art by Emily Rankin at Take Note Graphic Design, and photography by Candace Moore.
If you cool cats want to help us out, the best way to spread the word is by telling a friend about us. Tell your mom, tell all your buds. Word of mouth is still the best way to reach people. It's free for you and helps us immensely. And if you're into it, you can like and subscribe and all that stuff too.
Another way to support us is through our Patreon. We have a number of super fun tiers and perks like bonus content, handwritten postcards, creative coaching, and so much more. Find us at patreon.com/Mike and Kristen.
For the makers, the dreamers, and the figuring it outers, Have fun trying to make it out there, friends.